Chicago, working on a family case here. We got a very special guest with us tonight. It is freaking cold up here. We did not dress. Luckily, I brought this hoodie with me.
Hi, everybody.
Sean's back there getting the equipment ready. But yeah, it is cold as hell up here in Chicago. Well, it's 60 degrees, but it feels cold because it's windy out. So, we thought we'd jump on here and say hello to everybody. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Saturday. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed last night's episode. If you enjoyed last night's episode, give us a thumbs up. Here shortly I'll have our special guest coming out here and let them say hi to you guys.
I'll go grab him.
Just let him know I'm live and he can come to the passenger seat.
Yeah.
I'll adjust my camera here.
Oh, shut this.
As you guys know, last night was a crazy ass episode. The mother, she just emailed us a little bit ago. I just finished shooting interviews inside this house. We'll see how tonight goes. I mean, you never know till you do the investigation, but what the family's experiencing here is pretty dark. So hopefully we can get them some answers and some help tonight. Got a young child inside the house that they're worried about. So we wanted to drive up here to see if we get them some answers. And then, oh, here comes our special guest. Here we go. Ta-da! Rob is in the house.
In the house. Scary house.
Scary house. So what did you feel walking in there for the first time?
It's quite cold. Quite eerie.
It's definitely got a cold
feel to it. I feel sorry for the lady, really. It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens tonight.
So a lot of you guys know Rob came here 2 years ago to investigate with us. Where are you from?
Just outside London, north of London.
And he was skeptical, right?
Very. I thought it was all made up.
We took him on his very first investigation was a family haunting we were doing that weekend. We said, hey, just come with us. So Rob came along with us. If you guys remember the Conjuring House episode, if one of our mods can post that link to it that Rob was in.
Series 12.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's like 1 and 3 or 2 and 4, something like that. Some really early episodes.
Yeah,
season 12.
Season 12. But anyhow, halfway through the night, Rob was a firm believer in the paranormal. He was able to have his own experiences, see everything firsthand. I think we even learned a lot from you, like the way you investigated. For somebody that's never investigated before, it was like you were natural. So I think we learn a lot as far as like, because sometimes we'll get in there and we'll question them too much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It becomes more like an interrogation. But you went in there and you were talking to them like they were in the room with you, just having a conversation.
Just want a conversation. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So I think we learn a lot like that is, because with us, you know, it's always, our main goal is to help the family, you know, regardless if we get activity or not. So sometimes we're pressing for answers to get answers for the family. And because we're only here a certain amount of time.
It's probably like every person speaks differently, answers questions differently. I suppose every spirit is the same, really. They've all got their own personalities from when they were amongst us, I suppose. So they like to be spoken to differently. So I suppose different people, responding in different ways.
And maybe just different, like, I don't know if, like, you being from the UK, maybe they investigate differently over there, but you've never investigated before.
No, never investigated before. Maybe they like the accent.
Yeah. I know the ladies like the accent, so we got hillbilly accents. He's got the English accent.
English gent.
So that first investigation, what was it for you that really, I guess, validated it for you that, there is something more to this than what you were thinking?
For me, where I was outside with Rocky, not inside when you did the interview, so things didn't make sense to me. Words that were coming through, names and stuff like that, had no meaning to me because I didn't have the context from the original interview. So I think getting that information that was coming through in the first few hours, taking it outside, catching up with the homeowner, saying a few of the words that come through and just seeing how he reacted, that was, for me, that kind of convinced me. And then feeling spirits go past you, seeing the shadows when no one is moving because it's so dark in the house.
You were even touched at one point.
Touched, and on the camera you could see the stick figure standing next to me. When the homeowner said that he feels that something's really tall or big in the house, and then seeing the figure next to me on the SLR when it was 15-20 inches taller than me on the camera, was, again, from what he said to what physically happened, it was just, for me, put it beyond.
I like to see you're joining the Bracelet Club.
I've been in the Bracelet Club for years.
Show everybody we're all in the Bracelet Club. So it's just not a Ohio thing.
I think Lynn made this red, white, and blue one 2 years ago on the plane on the way over.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
It's falling apart, but it's survived 2 years, thick and thin. This one's to keep me calm.
Does it work?
Yeah.
And see, my problem is I don't take mine off when I shower.
Nor do I.
So, especially the cloth bracelets never last long with me.
They get a bit dirty, don't they, and grubby.
Yeah.
Leather one's good.
So what are you expecting? I mean, obviously you don't know what you're to expect tonight, but what's your hope?
Evidence, I suppose, is the hope, and whatever we can do to make the lady feel more at ease in her house. I suppose that's the ultimate goal. Hopefully get her some answers and remove any bad or evil spirits that could potentially in there. But I know nothing. I've met the lady once for a minute, and we were talking about her gorgeous black cat that she's got to go and pick up. So I don't know anything about the house at all, or even really why we're here specifically.
Yeah. And a lot of people probably don't know that is I do all the interviews. So I go in, meet with the family, sit down with them, shoot the interviews. So Rocky and Sean's always out here. And one is just I want the family to feel comfortable. If they got 4 or 5 people sitting there staring at them, they're going to be nervous. They're already nervous being on camera and stuff. So a lot of times when Rocky and Sean go into the investigation, they have no clue what's going on inside the house, which is good because they go in blind. So when things come across or things happen that I know, I can say, hey, that makes sense because, this happened to the family. So it's good. I think Sean, he likes to go in not knowing a whole lot, which is a good thing because sometimes subconsciously you listen for those things.
Yeah.
Instead of going in with an open mind.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely taint what you're hearing to what you need to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd say definitely the house has a dark, cold feel to it. Definitely cold in there.
Last one on the block as well.
Very last house on the block. She hasn't been here crazy long. I'm thinking since Christmas.
And she lives here on her own?
Yeah. Well, it's her daughter, and then her brother lives upstairs. Everybody has left for the night. Her and her daughter and the cat are going to her mom's house. So I would say all the houses on this block are freaking creepy.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah. Lots of trees as well, so it's quite dark.
Mm-hmm.
And the leaves all falling.
You know,
Yeah,
being
really
outside of
interesting.
Chicago too, you just never know what may have happened in this house.
Yeah. Do you ever research the road or the street or the area before you come?
We don't do any research before we come. We do research. We have some people. I think one of the ladies is down in Texas and Florida that help us with some of the research. But yeah, just most of the families we talk to know a lot of the history just from talking like neighbors and previous owners and stuff like that. So we can tie a lot of the stuff that we document. But then there's some cases like the episode last night that you guys watched. There's a ton of stuff that we had to edit out of the video just for personal reasons for the family. They asked us, they shared some information with us, but told us, could you please not put in the video? So we wanted to do that, but there's a lot of stuff that is part of the backstory that people don't see in the episodes, either because for legal reasons or the family asks us, we're going to tell you this, but please don't put it in the episode because it's very personal to them.
Yeah, private.
Which is the same thing that happened last night. So there were a lot of things that made sense. And even, like I said, the mother, she had just messaged me while I was in there shooting interviews, and she couldn't believe there was even stuff that she didn't share with us that came across that she said that makes 100% accurate. And then with me and my nightmare and stuff,
Yeah,
that
the
just
dream.
added to the whole. Because I remember I was sitting there through the interview, and I kept being drawn. Because sometimes, like when I'm interviewing, I'll be drawn to like a certain, like my focus will go to one specific location, and I'm not like sensitive or anything like that. But I kept getting drawn to that stairwell, and I kept racking my brain thinking, how in the hell? I know I've seen this stairwell before. I've never been in this town. I've never been in this house. But where? And then it hit me, the nightmare I had. I only had this nightmare like 2 or 3 times. And both times I was investigating upstairs in the hallway, and I heard something and it freaked me out. And for whatever reason, I ran downstairs, fell down the landing, hit the door, went down the stairs, went into a bathroom. In my dream, it was a bathroom / laundry room altogether. I remember slamming the door and locking it and just being scared shitless, and whatever was in the house, I could hear it running down the steps. It was literally shaking and banging on the bathroom door. And every time, I never got to experience what happened. Did it come through the door? Did it leave? Because the dream always stopped right there. I would always wake up in like a cold sweat and just breathing real hard. And it was always, every time the dream ended, it was something shaking the bathroom door. So when that hit, it was like, I mean, I've been in places before where I have like deja vu, where it's like, it's weird when you're dealing with this stuff, is how sometimes it's connected like that.
Yeah.
And then when they shared the dream, or they shared the stuff that happened to the grandfather inside the house, I was not expecting that.
Yeah. I've only been in the lounge. I haven't had a bad feeling in the house currently, but I've only been in one room.
When you go through
I
that,
could see there's lots of rooms.
I won't tell you what, but when you go through that threshold, I just want you to tell me what you feel out of that front room.
Right. Once you go into, is it the hallway?
Yeah.
Beyond, is it? Yeah, I could see that there was a hallway, but I never went.
So don't walk through there until we start filming.
Right.
But I want you to tell me how you feel when you walk through there.
Okay.
Because I just want to see.
It's getting dark.
Yeah. Good thing is it gets dark out earlier. So you guys have any questions for Rob? It never fails when I start looking for questions, the chat freezes. Oh. This will not be a live investigation, although we are planning on, because you're going with us to the other location, right?
Next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything because I'm going to keep it a surprise for you guys. We are going to do a very special live investigation with you guys next weekend for Halloween. Rob will be joining us, and so we're going to try to go live there as much as we can, depending on the Wi-Fi service. but very creepy location. We got Rocky coming in.
Hello.
We went from 80 degrees in Ohio to a little nippy out here. You guys are probably used to the cold weather in the UK.
It's got cold in the UK at the minute. We've come back. I was in Barbados a few weeks ago. 40 degrees, gorgeous sunshine. We've come back to England and it's been rain every day for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of rain here too. We went, like where we live, everything got super dry because we were like in a drought. So yards and everything was turning brown. And I mean, I went 2 weeks and didn't have to mow. And then when the hurricane came through, we just got everything greened up. And so that's the plan, is we're gonna film here in Chicago tonight. And then Sean and I, early next week, are heading to Tennessee to take supplies down there. And then Rocky and Rob, they'll be in Texas,
Waco.
Texas. So if anybody, maybe they can figure out a time if we want to do like a meetup or something like that. If you guys have time for that, want to meet some fans.
Yeah, sure.
And we take some autograph pictures.
Yes, I don't know what. Probably nobody lives near Waco. Are you going to Waco just specifically for the Branch Davidian compound, or?
Branch Davidian compound, JFK. Go to the museum, see what happened there. I think we're going to Chip and Joe's restaurant, 1928.
Yeah.
I think we want to go there. She loves watching that on telly.
Yeah, the first place I went to when I went to Dallas was the Eternal Light, or Eternal Flame, at the JFK Memorial. I think that's in a cemetery there in Dallas, Texas.
Because I think there's a JFK memorial at Arlington as well. I think he's buried at Arlington.
Yeah.
I think we saw his... Was it JFK?
Yeah. Yeah, remember they had the flame
Yeah.
for him and his wife?
Yeah, so we'll film here tonight, do our investigation, cleansing, hopefully get this family some answers and some help. And then we're driving back to up by Dayton, Ohio. And then these guys are flying out tomorrow afternoon. So
Texas.
you guys will be in warm Texas, and Sean and I will be in cold Tennessee.
Shouldn't be that cold in Tennessee.
I think Wednesday is supposed to be like a high of 50. Thank you, Jackie, for the donation. Stay safe on your investigation, and God bless. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
You're halfway down at Tennessee. You might as well continue down to Dallas.
Yeah.
Tell them thank you on PayPal.
Everyone, or just anybody?
Yeah, that's donated.
Oh, thank you for anybody that donated on PayPal. I know we can't send messages back to you via PayPal, so if you donated on PayPal, thank you. That food gave me heartburn so bad.
Food did.
I think it's that cucumber stuff.
Tasted good.
Is that pronounced hero or gyro? Hero? I think it's pronounced hero.
Euro. And a euro?
Euro?
Euro.
I think euro is money, hero is a sandwich.
I think Hero is that TV show.
Yeah.
Looks like gyro.
Yeah, it's spelled with the G, but I think the G is silent.
Yeah, it's Hero. So I always call it gyro.
Then next Friday night, we've got a brand new family haunting episode coming out. It's a pretty good episode, so you guys will enjoy that. And I feel like the crazy stuff that was happening on the next episode was happening to the father. And when you see this guy, you'll think there's no way this guy could be afraid of anything, because he's a big dude. Like just the big guy. I mean, he's a super nice guy, but he's like the type of guy you wouldn't want to mess with. So when you see that he's the one being attacked and he's the one so scared of this stuff, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I will say this is probably the first time we've been in the Chicago area and I've been in a really nice neighborhood. We usually get to some pretty sketchy places. Let's see if anybody's got more questions for Rob. Sandy says that episode last night was so crazy. Good Vibe said he used to live there years ago. Jerry just posted a link to Rob's very first investigation. I was trying to see if you guys had any comments for... Oh, homeowner's getting ready to leave. I gotta back out real quick. Let the homeowner out. And then we are going to get started on our investigation. This is a pretty creepy place, ain't it?
It's all the trees, they cover the sky. You can't see the sky.
I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about somebody's house, but just some areas are creepy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody drives past my house and thinks, oh, that house is haunted. I drive past this house and I think, oh, that house is haunted. So you guys tell me, do you think that looks haunted? Crime scene tape on the door. Thumbs up if you think it looks haunted. Okay, everybody, so we're gonna run in, get all of our stuff set up, cameras. We're gonna set cameras in the bedroom. We're gonna set cameras in the basement and cameras on the second floor.
A what?
Little bag.
And then we're gonna set up all of our alarms.
Give me back there.
There's 3 specific areas that things happen. So we'll set, like I said, set alarms up in there, and then we'll see
Where the heck is this guy?
if anything happens in those areas.
I don't know if I had a bag.
You nervous?
A little bit. Now you said there's a basement.
You don't like basements?
Nothing ever good happens in the basement.
Yeah.
It's always bad.
It's always bad.
It's a big, creepy basement.
Oh, it's very creepy.
So you know what we're going to do tonight? We're going to leave Rob alone at some point tonight in the basement.
Or upstairs too.
The one thing about investigating, which we learned, because we always hated being alone. Like if you watch our earlier videos, we were always like right next to each other, just always huddled together because we were so scared. And then we got,
do that at some places.
yeah, depends on how active it is. And then we would leave a place because you know you always talk a big game until you get there and the lights go out. You're like, oh, I'm going to go to the basement by myself. I'm going to walk around the place by myself. Then once the lights go out, it's a completely different story. And you're like, ain't no way I'm going down there. And we would always leave places feeling guilty. So we kind of said, you know, we're going to start pushing ourselves. You know, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. And so that's what we're going to do with you tonight.
Great.
We're going to put you outside your comfort zone. We're going to put you in the basement by yourself. You're going to get this family some answers. We're going to do a cleansing.
You're
We're
gonna
going
be in
to
the house by yourself.
we're going to help this family tonight.
Get to the bottom of it.
So what do you prefer before we leave? What do you've been with us doing a family haunting. You've been with us at a haunted location. What do you prefer?
I think the haunted location was scarier because all of the floors you could hear things, people, spirits walking and moving. We'd walked around the house, we'd locked ourselves in. We knew that no one apart from us was in that building, and to hear people walking, that was freaky. Just to know something else was there. and then there were some things that I could hear that you guys couldn't hear.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always heard, in my mind, it was one of them a monkey or something walking along with like a tambourine clapping hands.
That's like that one I just seen at the Halloween store. I was gonna buy it.
Was it? But I was the only one that could hear it, and I was kept saying to you guys,
Yeah.
"Look, you've got to be able to hear it."
Yeah,
But I was the only
symbols.
person that could hear it.
Symbols.
Symbols.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the name of it.
So prior to going on investigation with us, you watched our episodes. Like you kept up with some of our stuff mildly, or
I'd watched, a few years ago, I'd watched an episode or two. It wasn't really my thing. I wouldn't want to have watched it on the telly,
Mhm.
and let's say scared myself in my own house, sort of thing,
right.
to make myself uncomfortable. So I knew what it was about a bit and what you guys did, but I wouldn't say I'd religiously watched it. I'd maybe caught a couple of episodes, sort of thing. But yeah, not an avid viewer or a fan at that stage, you know. And then to get the opportunity a couple of years ago to go on my first one, yeah, completely different. I've watched all the episodes now and
So now you're hooked.
Yeah. He's a believer now, huh?
So
You got to see and believe.
what I was leading up to is when you watch an episode versus actually standing there inside the location when it's pitch dark, experiencing all these things, hearing these things, because sometimes it's hard for us to get across on the video. Like we'll hear a noise, but maybe our cameras won't pick it up.
Mm.
So you've been able to experience, which is a good thing. And I always like anytime we can take somebody that's a skeptic, and I have no problem with anybody being a skeptic, because until you have your own experience, you're going to be skeptic, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's it like to experience that firsthand versus watching it on TV?
As much as when you watch an episode on TV, I think no matter even when you watch it on TV, I think you're always skeptical. I think no matter what,
Right.
I think you're always going to be skeptical. Where there is three of you, is one of you moving? Is that what the noise is walking upstairs? Is it a bit of a setup? I think there's always going to be some part of it where you are going to remain skeptical. But I think once you've done it and you know that you guys are not walking around, that is something else up there, or there is a different knock or something like that, and you can see that people have got two hands on cameras, so they're not knocking on anything, you know. I think that's when you physically see for yourself that you guys aren't setting it up, it is real.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not being done for the thrill of it, it's for the truth, sort of thing. I think that's when the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and for the first time I think you really 100% believe.
And I think a lot of you guys know some of our episodes will be like crazy boring. We don't document a whole lot. And that's really how we investigate is our main focus is not, okay, we've got to document this, we've got to document that. You know, our main focus is to help the family get them answers regardless of what we document. So we basically go in there with cameras, with equipment, anything that we experience, you see on camera. And Rob can attest, when we're outside the house and Sean's in there alone,
He's alone.
he's alone. When Rob goes inside the house tonight alone, Rob will be inside the house alone. So
Maybe.
we won't push Rob to do anything he's not comfortable with. Obviously, we don't want to put him in a dangerous situation, but because this stuff can get dangerous. And if we get in there and you feel like you're uncomfortable and you say, hey, I don't want to do it, we've all done that.
I think last one at the Bell Mansion,
Yeah.
I ended up having a conversation with Clara,
Mm-hmm.
who had passed away a few hundred years previous.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt comfortable being in the room and on the floor having the conversation backwards and forwards with her. A spirit, but I felt comfortable around that spirit. So I think, that's what it comes down to a lot.
As if you feel comfortable.
The feeling that you get when you're communicating, and
there's a whole different feeling when you do a location like that versus a family haunting, wouldn't you say?
yeah,
Like this feels darker when you do family hauntings.
it feels darker and more personal, for me, where the Bell Mansion was 5 levels high and so vast, you could walk for a minute in one direction to get to the other. It was just so vast that with someone on a different level or in a basement, I think you got into one of the coffins, I think, and you feel a lot more isolated if there was an issue. So if there was an issue in this house, you could be outside in 10 seconds. If there was an issue at the Bell Mansion, it would take you a few minutes to get outside, and you're running down staircases, like even a staircase, your own staircase in your own house, you know how the treads are and how big the spacings are. So you're running in the pitch black down a staircase where the different sizes, different widths, different materials, everything's just different. It's so much more dangerous and everything else. I think the experience in a big property for me.
I will say, since you brought up staircase, the stairs that lead upstairs and then the stairs that lead down to the basement, be very careful because the treads are not as wide as typically do.
So you have to put your foot sideways.
Yeah, so I like when I was shooting the walkthrough and stuff, I had to walk down kind of sideways. So just be mindful of that so nobody falls downstairs tonight. And we'll see how things go. Like I said, if we feel that it's not safe to have Rob in there by himself, obviously we won't do it, but
We'll see how it goes.
we'll see how it goes. So to be continued, will Rob end up alone or not? You guys will have to wait and find out. We're going to go inside. We don't want to keep this family out crazy late tonight because they do have, like I said, a younger daughter. Thank all of you guys for watching the episode last night. We appreciate all the prayers and the support that you guys have given us. And I know everybody was looking forward to Rob coming back over and investigating with us.
Yeah, we're excited to have Rob back.
Typically when we investigate with people, everybody hates it. Like the only time people hate us is when we investigate with other people. But you're like the one person that everybody loved.
Family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's family, so they can't be...
They can't hate on the family.
You
right?
can't hate on family, but I will say, out of all the people we've ever investigated with, Rob is one of the most requested people to come back in. And I think that is a testament to the way that you investigate,
Yeah.
how serious you are, how you honestly care. I mean, because you're from the UK, you're going to fly back to the UK. You should not care about this family, but you do, right?
I still think about the other 2
Yeah.
house properties we did. So yeah, this will go on the list definitely. I think where I've only done a couple, they're very clear in my mind. I think where you guys have done hundreds, there's only so much love and thought that can go around over all the years and everything else. But yeah, where I've only done 2, this will be my 3rd sort of thing. Yeah, they're very fresh in my mind and I can separate them clearly to find them. Whereas I suppose for you guys going into 50, 60, 70 properties a year doing it, there must be some slight overlap of blurring familiarization with houses and stuff like that. But yeah, for me, I've definitely got them very clearly separated at the minute.
I think most of the time because we spend so much time with the families, even before we get here to investigate, just talking back and forth with them, and then you get to meet them, and then you think back, the stuff that we experienced, and it's just crazy how much, the stuff that they've experienced is like the stuff that we were experiencing, and then it's just
connected.
Yeah.
That's
why I always felt like sometimes I'll be sitting in the dark and just think, how did I end up for the past 20 years sitting in the dark talking to thin air? You're communicating back and forth with spirits, but most of the time you feel like you're just talking into the darkness.
Yeah.
But I always just feel like things happen in our lives, whether it be something tragic or a negative, and somehow it's turned into a positive where we can take our experiences and what we've learned over the last 20 years and use that to help people. I don't know. It's definitely pretty cool.
Right.
And now you're addicted to it.
You'll never forget the first time.
First time.
Once you have your first experience,
That's it.
it's either you're scared to death, you never want to do it again, or you fall absolutely in love with it.
No,
And-
no more about the other side.
Yeah. Okay, guys. We want to thank all of you guys again. We'll see you later. We may go live after this and update you and let you know what Rob did or didn't do. But we'll definitely be on touch. We'll get some locations for Rocky and Rob if you want to meet them down in Texas next week. And then, like I said, Sean and I will be heading to Tennessee, take supplies. So everybody have a good night. Please be safe. Wish us luck. Say a prayer for the family. And say a prayer for Rob. Okay.
All right,
Team
thank
Nightmare
you.
out.